Okay, most difficult shot so far. Take 4. Go for it.
While our beef is marinating for the second time, we can take our onion and peel it, our pepper and our carrot, and then we'll chop these into bite-sized pieces.
There, that was great.
Perfect.
Oh, but I wasn't recording.
Were you not? Seriously?
No.
Okay. Hello there. My name is Suzie Juul, and I am a performer in the Twin Cities and an actress with Theater Moo. I have done many shows with Theater Moo, but you may have most recently seen me in their cabaret. I am so looking forward to getting started on this cooking video with you. I've decided to make one of my favorite dishes, beef bulgogi. I have a very sentimental attachment to beef bulgogi. It's something that I used to eat all the time growing up with my parents, who would always take me to a Korean restaurant for my adoption day every year, and I'm very thankful to them for that. So I started cooking beef bulgogi when I was about 13 or 14 as something to do to thank them and to connect more with my Korean heritage. The first step we need to take to make our beef bulgogi is to make our marinade. We're going to start with our pear and we're going to grate it until we get about a tablespoon of juice. Then we're going to take 1.5 teaspoons of our rice wine vinegar, combine them, and let our beef marinate in it for 30 minutes. Before we grate our pear, we have to peel our pear. Bulgogi is traditionally made with thinly sliced beef. I got mine from the local Asian market, but if you can't find extremely thinly sliced beef, that's okay. You can still use thicker sliced beef chopped up into smaller pieces. I like to chop my beef while it's frozen because it makes the cuts cleaner, but you can chop up your beef however you'd like. We're going to put this in the bowl, and then we'll add the 30-minute marinade before we make the other marinade that you use for 2 to 3 hours. I've just added the 1.5 teaspoons of mirin and the 1 tablespoon of pear juice to the meat for our 30-minute marinade. I'm going to cover the meat and put it in the fridge to let the pear juice do its stuff. Pear juice is acidic and helps to tenderize the meat. It'll make it nice and soft. Now that we have the beef marinating in the refrigerator, it's time to move on to the second part of our marinade. We are going to need 4.5 teaspoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of crushed garlic, and 1.5 teaspoons of sesame oil. I find it easiest to get the peel of the garlic off by crushing it with the blade and my hand. Now be careful when you do this so you don't cut yourself, but I always just go boom. And then I get to peel this part off pretty easily. I'm going to give mine a little bit of a rough cut, and then I'll add it to the marinade. We'll stir it up, and then we'll put that on top of our beef. So I've just removed the beef from the refrigerator. It's been 30 minutes marinating, and now I'm going to add our second marinade mix. I'm going to make sure the ingredients are thoroughly mixed together. And now we'll just pour it on, and this time it marinates for 2 to 3 hours. We're going to cover it back up and put it in the refrigerator again. And we'll chop up this carrot and add it to our onions. Chop your carrot up however you'd like. Some prefer thin slices of carrot. I'm just chopping mine into rough pieces. I'm going to do the pepper also into bite-sized pieces, but I'm going to save the pepper for later. So I'm not going to put it in with the onions and the carrots, even though the directions say to do so, because the pepper cooks a little bit quicker than the onions and the carrots, and I don't like it when my peppers are mushy. I grew this banana pepper myself in my backyard, and I'm really excited to use it for today's recipe. I've set my stove to medium-high. Now, a lot of people like to grill their beef bulgogi, but I don't really have a grill, so I'm going to use my pan. And I'm going to take the beef from the marinade, and put it in the pan. Kind of piece by piece. I don't want to do too much. And I'm not going to add the marinade at the end either. It's soaked it up for 2 to 3 hours, so it should be plenty flavorful. I like to wait until the meat's getting a little bit browned on one side before I flip it. And I'll let it cook on the other side for a little bit until that side's browned as well. I do this meat in batches to make sure that it doesn't get soggy. I like it when there's a little bit of crispness to it. Ooh, it smells really good. I wish you could smell this right now. As the meat cooks, I'm adding in the onions and the carrots. After the rice beeped, I made sure to fluff it, and now I'm just gonna put some of it in the bowl. And I'm gonna put the beef bulgogi on top. I know some people like to have their rice on the side and then add that as they eat, but I kind of like a rice bowl. So that's what I'm gonna do. Follow me over to the stove. All right, here we have our beef bulgogi. It looks so good. I'm so excited to try it. I'm gonna put that on top of our rice. There we have it. We're gonna top with our scallions that we just chopped up. And I always like to have a little bit of kimchi on the side. So I bought this from my Asian market, and I'm sure your Asian market also has some as well. So refreshing kimchi on the side of the bulgogi. And we made this. Great job. There's only one thing to do, and that's to try it. It's so good. And so savory.